How are you today, sir?
Strange days, aren't they?
Oh, yeah. What's strange today?
I have to admit that I woke up a little antsy this morning when I was having a conversation.
What answered you? What answered?
Yeah, well, you probably can guess, really, but I was having a conversation, part of a conversation last night, and one of the people in the conversation is a human rights lawyer.
Oh, Simon, I can't really hear what you're saying. Your signal's really cutting in and out.
Okay, so I think we're going to be a bit fucked because for some reason the internet here is, the download's great, but the upload is shit.
Okay. Well, shall we just do our best then, and I'll just pretend that I know what you're talking about.
That's great, because you'll hear it.
Okay. So, I will. That's true.
Okay.
So you're going to tell me why you woke up antsy. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. So, well, you've just heard it, but you haven't heard it. Other people have heard it, but anyway, I'm going to repeat it.
This is a podcast in which two friends talk about the pleasures, absurdities, and imperfections of being human. I'm Simon Ellis.
And I'm Lee Miller. Welcome to Midlifing.
So, yesterday I was part of a conversation, and one of the people in the conversation is a human rights lawyer and had been speaking to someone from Ukraine who said, I don't understand why people are saying that World War III is about to start. It started. It has started. And they were saying about how there are 10,000 North Korean soldiers fighting for the Russians, which I didn't know, actually. That was news to me.
No, me either.
I woke up this morning a little bit antsy because I was thinking, I like being here. It's safe. But I also feel a long way from home. And I started to go, I wonder when I can get home.
It's so interesting that you feel that way because you're also in probably one of the safest places in the world.
Exactly. Probably the safest.
Yeah.
So I don't really want to fly back through the United Arab Emirates. Feels like it's a crazy idea. I mean,
Exactly.
I'm in the middle, deep of the deep south of New Zealand. I mean, it is incredibly isolated. I mean, it's not in the sense that it's very connected, etc. But it is.
Yeah.
It's implausibly beautiful, Lee Miller.
I bet it is.
I had a little experience yesterday going for a mountain bike ride. Not something I used to do a lot, and but not now. And it was about an hour and 3/4, hour and a half maybe. And I got scared going downhill. But the place we went to, which is around a place called Lake Hayes and the Shotover River, for anyone who's ever been to New Zealand or is from New Zealand, they'll know just how spectacular those areas are. And I was... I don't know, I was sort of deeply moved by it, just that kind of sense of being overwhelmed by geographical, I guess, beauty or physical beauty.
Yeah. You were awestruck.
Awestruck. Nice. Do you know that someone I was actually talking with a friend the other day about awe? Did you know that they kind of define it as two or more mutually opposing emotions at the same time? Like you might be struck by fear and beauty, and that's what awe amounts to.
Yeah. It's the encountering of something so big and so incalculable, but so. Oh yeah. I like being awestruck. It doesn't happen enough to me.
No, and I think people like it in general, and I suspect, and I think I've read that it's actually very good for us. But I love that we have the word "struck" as a co-location with awe. Is it actually a single word?
Yes, it is. It's a one-worder, awestruck. It's not a hyphenate, which would still technically make it a single word, but it's all one word without the hyphen.
Yeah. So
awestruck.
Just get out there, feel awestruck, be awestruck, feel, be. So yeah, I'm a little bit antsy, a little bit discombobulated. It's all quite overwhelming.
So how much longer are you in them there Zealands of the New?
In them there hills. Well, my flight is, so by the time this comes out, should have happened yesterday, but it won't be happening yesterday. But even if it were, because there are now some flights which I can't believe going in and out of Dubai, influencer capital of the world, which I can tell you about if you'd like, maybe if you've already heard that. But I'm just not sure I feel like I want to fly in and out of there.
Is that a political resistance, or is this just about safety concerns?
Fear.
Yeah, fear.
Yeah. I just don't. Why would I take that risk, even though I imagine the risk is incredibly low if they're allowing flights to go through there?
How else might you be routed if it wasn't through the United? Oh my God, I can't say that word to an Antipodean without just preparing for it. I thought in this instance he's not going to laugh.
No, I'm a teenager at heart. Yes, so I can go through Singapore, I can go through the United States, which really I don't want to do, but either sound pretty good. But the problem is that there aren't flights soon. I have to wait.
Right. Oh, how long for? Like weeks?
Yeah, I think a couple of weeks. It's kind of hard to tell at the moment. I mean, if money were no object, I could fly it tomorrow for $11,000 or whatever.
Yeah, that's quite a high watermark. I think probably I'd stay there for a couple more weeks.
Maybe we could reach out to our listeners just to chip in a little bit.
Crowdfund. Yeah.
I
think
finally,
probably
we've been giving them content for years now, free of charge. Lee Miller.
Absolutely. So just you deep pockets out there, can somebody please Venmo Simon a wad of cash because he needs to get home? If any of you have a private jet standing by, come on.
Yeah.
Pony up, don't be so bloody tight.
I know. It's just, I do feel like this has been a one-way relationship between us and our listeners for a long time now, and it's time that people, as you say, ponied up, get out.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Come on, we're not asking for much, just
about a limit. And also, that's
cool
New
20
Zealand
grand.
dollars. That's New Zealand dollars. It's only like about £6,000, for God's sake. It's nothing.
Oh, God, that's nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'm hopeful now. Also,
I think we should round it up to 20
wad.
But I just think can we round up to 20,000 English pounds? Then I can buy some more clothes.
And also, if all of our listeners, that just means all of our listeners just chipping in about £1,000. So we're all good.
So I went into work many times this week, and I have been. I can't go into work without thinking about what I'm wearing.
I don't think you can go anywhere, Lee, without thinking about what you're wearing.
I mean, that's fair.
Is it a special kind of thinking that happens before work, do you think?
No, because I think the day before I organise my outfit for the night before so that I can just not worry in the morning.
Of course you do.
I try it on, I steam it, I do all of those sorts of things. But I put different clothes on this evening to walk the dog because I thought, oh, well, you never know who you might bump into. It can't be my sitting around clothes. It has to be my going out, even it's to walk the dog's clothes. A couple of months ago, I think it was the tail end of the summer, I was schlepping around the house in really not chic. I was wearing like a ripped T-shirt and a pair of, to use your vernacular, daggy old shorts. And I ran across the road towards the end of the night with Jeff to just take him for a quick wee, and two people who work in one of our favourite restaurants were standing having a cigarette, and I went, "Don't look at me! Don't look at me! You can't see me, I'm not dressed."
You got caught with your knickers down, basically.
I got caught with my knickers down, yes, but during this week's working week, a colleague said, "Oh, I just want to take a picture of you to show my wife, because she's always telling me that I've got to up my fashion game." So he took a picture, and that was I think on Wednesday, and I saw him today, and I said, "What did she think?" And he went, "She just kind of waved her hand in front of me and said, 'You can't do that.'" And I didn't know whether I should be really
Proud.
unhappy for him or whether I should be really delighted that I was putting together outfits that were just too outre.
And you felt
I don't know.
felt delighted, didn't you? You definitely leaned that
I
direction.
totally felt it.
Yeah. It wasn't even close, frankly. And I love that you said that there was a possibility of you feeling the other thing, but come on. Come on.
I have a really beautiful pair of trousers, a wool pair of trousers. They're very, very unstructured and loose. They're just gorgeous, very beautifully cut. And a colleague for whom I was doing a piece of content today, I was being videoed for the website. Always fun. And he said they would definitely be described as a piece.
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, I'm now comfortable with the idea of a piece. I used it just the other day. Can't remember what the context was.
What were you referring to? What was your?
I can't remember.
What was the piece you were wearing?
And I can't remember, but it definitely got used in that context, and I felt somewhat proud and also hat tip to Professor Lee Miller. just £1,000.
This is all. This is the trousers weren't that much. I mean, you know,
It must be close. I mean, frankly, if you
quite
just given up your clothing budget for the last couple of months, you would have been able to just flip me £5,000 immediately for me to get home on a business class flight.
I mean, in fairness, yeah, but
There
honestly,
are some limits. There are some limits to friendship.
What's
right?
more important? Yeah, what's more important? You getting home back to the arms of
Safely.
your beloved, or me having a brilliant pair of trousers?
And
I think we know.
again, we know where that one's.
So, what, as you kind of, I mean, theoretically, are in the tail end of your New Zealand trip?
Yes.
What have you learnt? Do you think? Because it's you everything's been thrown into this really stark contrast. The world has gone to heck in a handcart whilst you've been away.
I mean, it took another step. It was already in. It
Yeah.
just took another little step, didn't it?
Yeah, I was going to correct myself and say I think it was already on the way, but perhaps it crystallised in a very particular way.
I mean,
What have you learnt?
I mean, it's an interesting question in the sense that I think this is the third episode we've recorded while I've been away, and the first couple, certainly the first one, I talked about that amazing feeling, and I still feel that, and in the conversations I'm having with people here, and the sense of closeness and understanding, which is not just about having spent a lot of time with these people over the years, but also because of New Zealandness. And that was the thing I think that came up for me this morning, was this just recognition that as much as I feel incredibly safe and looked after and I guess comfortable here, it's not my home. And so I had the very strong urge when I woke up to go, I need to go back there. And then that was, of course, countered by the sense of not wanting to go back there via particular routes, which are getting narrower and narrower every day almost. The kind of routes that you that might be deemed safe. So in terms of learning, there's something about, how would I say that? Just that I was really just wanting to be close to Lil, really. It was a very strong sense of that's where I belong, you might say. And I think that's something to learn.
It's a pretty nice thing to learn, isn't it, really? To be reminded of that which we already know. Sort of, it just brings it into sharp relief. And by we, I mean you. I was sort of trying to extrapolate, but I didn't mean that we collectively knew that that's what you felt about Lil, but more that sense that sometimes what feels like it should be really obvious is just triggered into a different understanding as a result of where you're standing.
Yeah, it's nicely said. I think I've had quite a lot of conversations, also partly of something as I was reading, but lots of conversations with different people in different contexts about risk. And and I guess it's made me think about, certainly as I've got older, or as we get older, about our relationship to risk and what feels safe and what doesn't feel safe. And and then also being in a position, you know, more or less where I can choose, in the sense that, you know, I could effectively spend a chunk of savings and get on a flight immediately if that were, you know, really necessary. But so there's just something there about kind of conditions and the extent to which I have some agency over them, and also the things that I don't, you know, and that's been, as you say, it brought into very sharp relief. There's these major forces, although major forces going on which are triggered by, you know, effectively single people, you know, or single individuals, which just blows my mind. It's not a lesson, or a lesson we've known for, you know, centuries or eons.
But it's not. I think, you're right. We have known it, and it is triggered by single people. But then, it's the fertility of the ground upon which those individuals' ideas land, and there's just something. And I know this has been coming for a long time, and I know we can point fingers in all sorts of directions, and this can be that it's the siloing of culture and community, the idea of the haves and the have-nots getting further and further apart. We can talk about it as
the us and the them and the...
Exactly, and that being sharpened by these algorithmic certainties that, well, I definitely am in the right camp because all of these people are telling me the same thing. Everything feels so febrile. Everything feels so hot and so... I was reading in The Guardian, I think on Wednesday. Yes, because I was at work when Bob sent me the message. Just the idea of some people in the armed forces, in senior positions in the armed forces in the United States, stating that Trump had been anointed by Jesus. And he was making the rivers run with blood to clear the path for Armageddon because Jesus Christ's second coming is due. And I read it and I just thought, I feel like I'm in either a satire or a horror film, and I'm not sure which it is. Because and it's okay. I was reflecting upon the fact that I remember I used to talk to undergraduate students about the idea that God is dead.
Yeah.
In that kind of Nietzschean sense that God is dead. Not that, you know, people of faith don't have faith, but just culturally, God died in the early 20th century.
I think he might have been wrong.
It took a little...
But anyway.
Well, I don't think he was. I think he was right for a while. And then I think that he, in the sense that in lots of Western contexts, there was this sort of separation, an active separation of church and state, and this idea that we weren't talking to one another through that particular lens. And then various things started to shift the discourse, and I think, you know, the World Trade Centers coming down was one of them. One of the really clear ones, because then God becomes part of the narrative again, because it becomes a holy war, doesn't it? And you can only have a holy war if you believe. And then that just get ratcheted up and up and up, and finding myself thinking, oh, there's absolutely no way I could do that class from, you know, the late 1990s where I talk about the idea that culturally God is... No, just impossible, because I couldn't say God is dead, and what we're doing here is we're talking about Nietzsche, we're not talking about faith. Yeah, it's just like, well, because he's not. He's so, omnipresent. No shit, Sherlock. he's omniscient as well. That's actually one of the things that makes him him.
I think he's all PKL is the acronym, all powerful, knowing, and loving.
There's a lot of P and K, not a lot of L.
I don't think so. I think this is topping the list of one of the most depressing conversations I've ever had with you. Like, it's quite, it's just so...
It would be hard for us. I mean, we've run the gamut. We've talked about my lovely trousers, so that's okay. But it would be hard for us to have an entirely light conversation
In
in
these
light
times.
of. Yeah, I mean we've been witnessing a genocide in Palestine. It hasn't stopped. The borders have been closed by Israel to Palestine, so that now once again food and medicine can't get in, and that's now, just being done without a whisper of concern.
It's almost
And that's not true.
It's
There's lots
almost
of
like
people
the
who are
kind of
concerned, but it's
strange the way in which Western news media works. In terms of it's like those things disappear now that this war is going on, or attack is going on, or
yeah.
very strange. I know also
yeah,
partly,
and there's been
I was going to say partly that I just I actually don't have the kind of I don't feel like I have the kind of even just kind of deep enough understanding of these, even to understand how to talk about them. Like they feel beyond my capacities to understand. It really is. It's like such a quagmire of, as you've just described, of jingoism and all those things, but also the kind of psychological aspects, and then in relation to fear and safety and things which are really fundamental to being an animal, right? And then the distractions from things that I think are much more important, and it feels so gnarled and knotted that I generally have a feeling I can get my head around things, but this is it's very difficult.
Yeah, I think we're in a moment in time where our lizard brains are being poked super hard. And that makes it hard for us to think how we might be mammalian and how we might then be human, how we might kind of move through those layers of brain structure. Because I don't feel bad about the fact that I am clod-hopping my way through this conversation in relationship to clarity or certainty, because we started with, you woke up feeling...
Antsy.
You woke up feeling antsy. Why do you feel antsy? Because the world's wrong. The world's gone wrong.
Yeah, it's not unjustified.
No. And so I think we're talking here about our feelings.
And the thing that's going to make me cry, it really is that I'm off to a wedding today. These two lovely young people starting their lives together, and I'm just like, oh my God, like the terms of the contrast and the
Yeah. But that's the thing, isn't it? We can't stop. We can't stop, and it's just to take everything back to my trousers. I'm still going to buy my lovely trousers because I still want to look nice, and there's no point in...
Sorry, Lee. Sorry.
Go on, isn't what? No, go on. No, go ahead.
No, it's just that... But I get that, and I think you should, and that I think, it's amazing that these people are doing this today, but there's also a part of me which isn't it a little bit like the band playing on?
I think all that we are seeing in this moment is the macro version of the stuff that is happening at the micro version all the time.
Yeah.
You think back to when you lost your mum. The world carried on turning and it didn't care. It was cruel and it was cold and it was uninterested, and there were people around you who were kind and thoughtful and wanted to hold you, but the rest of the world was worried about whatever it was worried about. Is there enough Bitcoin this week? Is there whatever the worry of the moment was? Yeah. So I think it always does that. I think there is always that sense that, and the band plays on, but what's the alternative? We have to continue to be in dialogue with one another. We have to continue to try and move forward, and everything is fundamentally pointless. But also, do you think that when you see a lion? Do you think that when you see a squirrel? Do you think that when you see a mouse? It's just the structures that we've made for ourselves that are the same as all those animals and slugs and starfish and jellyfish and eels. They all go about doing the thing during the day, and they're going to die as well. It's all pointless, except it's not, because this is what we do. We just move forward, and I think if we can move forward with as much grace and kindness and gentility as possible, that's got to be the win. And that's probably why, more than ever, two people who love each other standing in front of the people that they love and saying, I want to spend forever with this person, is so important.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Here's to grace and gentility and kindness, Lee Miller.
Have a lovely day. Yeah, have a lovely day, darling.
See ya.
See you, bye.